Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and the continuation of Bryar Rose. A few minutes later, Alec finishes his transport spell. Knox, Alec, Ella and I all stand at the end of a winding dirt road. A bright yellow sun burns down from an impossibly blue sky. Around us, a landscape of rolling hills is sliced into neat rows of grapevines. The scent of earth and green leaves fills the air. I scan the area. No one else is around. I clutch the Codex Mechanica under my right arm. No way am I letting this thing out of my sight. Before us, the road ends with a low hilltop that's crowned by a small cluster of dingy buildings. At one time, I'd imagined these structures were all gleaming white walls and neat peaked roof of red ceramic tile. Now the place is run down, grey and mouldy. Large holes gape in the tile rooftops. Gnats buzz about the scene. Other than the insects, the place sure looks deserted. Is this the place? I asked Knox. After all, Knox came here before to hunt Denari. If anyone would know if we'd reached Julius Caesar's old villa, it would be my mate. My inner wolf stands at attention. I hope we see our mate kill something, she coos. I've seen it, I shudder, remembering how Knox had to take down Madame Grimoire, my old therapy group leader, who was actually a Denari zombie mummy. Head removal was involved. It's not as pleasant as you might think. Knox scans the landscape carefully. Nothing's changed since the last time I came by. Still looks abandoned. He gestures towards the villas. And this is all one compound for Jules. He had servants and visitors. There were no locals or anything. But like I said, all that was long over by time I got here. It's pretty modern, I say. Somehow I expected more ancient Rome. Instead of pointing, Knox chin nods towards a particular spot on the horizon. There's a building on the back of the property that is a classic Roman ruin. You know, small round temple with smashed-in walls and busted columns. Not sure what I expected from Caesar's personal estate. Maybe a big statue of Brutus with the words original backstabber written on it in Latin. A bunch of rundown modern villas wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Still, if it's where the fountain of magic is hidden, it'll always be a gorgeous spot in my book. Alec mock brows and offers Ella his arm. Shall we? I take a half step forward and pause. Something nags at the back of my brain. My inner wolf perks up again. All her fur stands on end. I don't like this, she growls. Yes, I say slowly. A chill of unease creeps up my spine. Knox steps up beside me. What's wrong? My human intuition is telling me to wait. So is my wolf. Alex slings his sport coat over his shoulder, male model style. Intuition? What? We're here. There's some old ruins nearby and some new-ish McVillas right in front of us. The fountain of all magic is here somewhere. We have to look for it. Knox hitches his thumbs into the back pockets of his leathers. It's another one of his thinking poses. He keeps his attention riveted on me. What's got you worried? I sort through everything that's happened. The void, the papri, Bouchardou. At last, the wrong piece stands out in the puzzle of my thoughts. It's tea. She's holding out something, and we don't know what it is. Let me guess. Alex sighs dramatically. You want me to cast more spells so you can see her? Knox gives him the side eye. Like it would be that hard. All you need is an article of clothing and you can track her down. Alec wags his finger at Knox. And do you have something of hers handy? Like I keep her crap around. It's all back at the castle. And that's what I'm saying, Ron's like. I'm not transporting your big asses around again. Knox chuckles. Come on, big baby. Alec narrows his eyes. It's Sir Baby to you. Seriously, says Knox. Don't dismiss the idea just because it means another spell. Think about it, I add. I came to Europe to get the Codex Mechanica, all because T found me online, but she actually sent me to Bouchard to get my butt kicked. Knox steps forward. After that, I'm lured along in a step 2 of her plan, when T calls me to say that Bry's about to be attacked. My ex knows I won't stay away from my mate. The whole thing reeks of a setup. Ella raises a hand. Speaking as someone who sets up people all the time, I have to agree with Knox. Not seeing the master plan here. Alec folds his arms over his chest. T wanted to prove she could scare your girlfriend while luring you to the castle to pay attention to her. No big deal. He itches his thumb toward the villas. Let's find ourselves a fountain of magic. There's more. I start counting off the items on my finger. First, T had the Codex Mechanica. I get that she collects ancient stuff, but what are the odds of finding that thing? Second, T knew I wanted that particular device. Very sketchy. Third, T knew exactly who the Void is. That memory curse, which affected all of us, it is 0 to her. And there's only one other person I know who was immune to that curse. He got that way because he had a run-in with the Shadowvin. Alec kicks dirt out the road. Those are the shadow monsters who sucked out your powers, right? Yep. I gesture toward the nearby Sushokondo, and now T wants me to go in there. This is like Bushiru all over again. I don't trust her, and I totally think she knows more than she's telling us. We need to find her and make her share what's really going on. Alex pauses and thinks for a moment. Then he tosses up his hands while shooting an angry look at Knox. I hate it when you're right, Knox shrugs. Bry's the one who's right. I just get to tell you about it. Fine, fine. Alec lets out a long puff of breath. I'll track T down. I just need something of hers for a locator spell. You could go back to the castle and grab something. No. Alec narrows his eyes and scans the horizon. This place is definitely bad news. I don't want to leave you here alone. I'll transport all of us back to the castle. Once we're there, I can cast a locator spell there and force T to return. Alec reaches into his pocket and pulls out a handful of rubies, and that's when everything goes to hell. White mist rolls in over the countryside. Dark clouds descend over the sky. A pair of long shadows creep along the dirt road, reminding me of a shifting pool of black paint. The breeze dies down. Even the insects stop their buzzing. No question who is coming. The Shadowvin. Knox pulls me against his side. Do you see that? He asks. I nod. This is what's been haunting my dreams. 2 humanoid shadows rise up from the misty ground. Scythe and teeth. Their eyes glow white as they float closer. Are those the Shadowvin? asks Ella. They are, I say. Alex steps in front of Ella, placing himself between her and the figures. What do you want? Another form rises up from the mist. This one is 8 feet tall and glows with white magic. His eyes are fathomless holes of darkness. Tilting back his head, he roars at the clouds. Take me to the fountain. Scythe and Teeth start to float closer. If that wasn't creepy enough, they start talking in unison. Accept the inevitable. The void will devour the world. No one will have the strength to destroy the fountain. Give us the device. I grip Knox's hand tightly. I'm never going to help you. But you already are, they say. With lightning speed, both Shadowvin rush toward Knox. I remember when they threatened Knox and Ella before the Shadowvin showed me how they could possess someone's body. On reflex, I stand between him and the Shadowvin. If you want to get to my mate, you have to go through me first. The Shadowmen slide right past me and into Nox's body, just like they showed me in my dreams. They start to possess Nox before my eyes. When it comes to possession, the more spirits you have inside you, the harder it is to fight back. Even so, my mate fights back. Crumpling onto his knees, my mate screams with pain. His veins run black. My inner wolf starts to lose her mind. Her eyes turn wild as she paces a frantic line. "We have to help him," she moans inside my soul. "I don't know what to do," I reply. I kneel before Nox. "How can I help?" When Nox looks up at me, his eyes swell with black. "Run." "No," I say solemnly. "You know I won't do that." Ella and Alec rush to stand beside us. Both of them look wide-eyed with worry. "Alec knows a spell that might help," says Ella. After reaching into his pocket of his sport coat, Alec pulls out a handful of rubies. Gripping the gems in his fist, Alec raises his arm. Red light shines through his fingers. "With my magic, I call on thee, Shadowbin, leave this place." A thin coating of red mist surrounds Nox's body. My mate howls with fresh pain. "Not helping," says Nox through gritted teeth. "They want me to hurt you." "I know you won't hurt me," I say. The boy's deep voice booms across the countryside. "Bring me the fountain." He floats closer. "Fountain." This is not going well. I focus on Alec and Ella. "You guys should run." Ella kneels at my side. "We aren't going anywhere, and you know it." Nox gripped my hands. "Remember when I used my shifter power? Your wolf." Images appear in my mind. When I was first learning how to control my wolf, Nox used his alpha power to help me focus. Whenever Nox is doing, he's barely keeping control. Maybe some shifter magic will help. I understand. Reaching forward, I rest my hands on Nox's shoulders. Within my heart, I pull on the threads of golden shifter power inside me. In my mind's eye, I picture them winding down my arms and into Nox's soul. His skin shimmers with a golden hue. "It's working," says Ella. "Try the spell again now," I tell Alec. Alec jams his hand into his pocket once more, pulls out more stones. Again, he raises the gems high. The magical rocks shine brightly in his hand. They're like a second sun. "Shadowvin, you must go." Waves of red light shimmer around Nox, reflecting off the golden hue of his skin. My mate lets out the muzzle roars and falls backwards. The Shadowvin tumble out of his body. They both round on Hela. "How about you?" they ask in unison. "Perhaps you'll be easier to control." Elle and I share a shocked look. Turning to the guys, we yell out the same word. "Run!" Nox slings his right arm over Alec's shoulder. My mate braces his left arm on me. Together, the three of us race toward the villa at the top of the road. Ella keeps pace at our side, checking back every few yards. "They're following us," she reports. "Make it for the first villa," says Nox. "Last time I was here, all the houses serious protection wards against spirits." Jules was nuts about that stuff, which makes sense. Jules killed a ton of people, both as a mortal and then later, when he became a zombie mummy. If angry ghosts were going to attack someone, Jules would be their target. Number one, in fact. "Once we get there," as Nox, "we'll be fine, but the Shadowin shouldn't get through." Alec and I push ourselves harder. Sweat lines my forehead and drips down my back. It's a short run to the first villa, but it feels like a marathon, especially since I'm helping to carry Nox. Plus, it's hard to see the ground under all this mist. Finally, we reach the front door. It's half of its hinges. That won't affect the warding spells. Those work when the doors are open or closed. Alec and I haul Nox inside. Once we cross the threshold, my mate collapses onto the floor, panting. The motion sends puff of white mist rolling away from him in every direction. "Well," says Nox flatly. "That hurt like fuck." He looks at Ella. "Who's taken to standing vigil in the doorway?" "Any news?" "You're right, Nox. The Shadowvin has stopped. 20 yards away. They're pounding on some invisible barrier." Oh, she exhales. "And they aren't breaking through. It looks like Jules put some decent wards here." Ending up beside Nox. "Do you need a healing spell?" "Nah," Nox shakes his head. "Let Alex save his stones when we really need them." My mate does look a lot better. His veins are no longer black, and the swirling shadows are gone from his eyes. "You've still got the Codex Mechanica." I hold it up from where I kept it jammed under my arm. "Still here. Good." Ella turns around and smiles. They've gone! Little by little the clouds roll away. The mist completely disappears from the floor. Beams of sunlight shine through the broken door and cracked windows. Knox glares at the doorway. I don't like this. It's another setup, finishes Ella. Alex shakes some of the bits of plaster off his head. Did you see how fast the Shadowing can move when they want to? They flew into Knox, but when it came to chasing us, they always stepped a few yards behind. That wasn't a hunt. The Shadowing were herding us into the property. At this point, all we need now are cow costumes to look, well, like we should. A half smile curls on Knox's mouth. I don't know, Alec. You got a little punch going already. You might already be rocking the cow look. Remind me, says Alex. Why do I transport my ass all over the world to save yours? Knox shrugs. I've got a nice ass. I shake my head and smile. Do you guys ever take anything seriously? Alec winks. Not if we can help it. We should check out the property, I say. Look for the fountain systematically. Ella winces. Do you think the Shadowing will come back? Not normally, I reply. But they did herd us in here for a reason. I don't think we'll have a ton of time before they come back. I look to Knox. You know this place best. What's the fastest way to check everything out? Knox stands up and wipes some dust off his jeans. We should split up. Ella, you can take this place. There are 2 more villas behind this one. Alec, how about you take the one on the left and I'll take the right? He turns to me. Since you're so excited about Ruin Temple, how about you check that out? Sounds like a plan, I say. How do I get there? There's a shortcut through the forest, but you're better off taking the gravel path behind this house. It's a little longer, but you won't get lost. Ella pulls a cell from her pocket. Everyone have phones in case of trouble. We all pull out the various cells and raise them high. Or you can just yell, I add. Knox and I will hear you from a mile away. You got that right, adds Knox. With those words, my inner wolf whimpers. We shouldn't leave, mate. He might still be sick. Normally, my wolf's logic would make sense, but what's happening lately is anything than normal. No, I reply in my mind. The fact that Knox may be ill, that's all the more reason we should leave him. Knox feels better when we aren't nearby. Inside my soul, my wolf lifts her chin and looks away. That's about as close to an agreement as I'll get at this point. Knox scans the room. Any questions? Everyone shakes their head. In that case, I say, breathing hard. It looks like we have a solid plan. My voice comes out, more confident than I feel, though. I've taken to gripping the Codex Mechanica so tightly, I'm surprised it doesn't snap in two. Let's do this. We all head off in our separate directions. I'm not 20 yards down the gravel road when a young girl's voice sounds in my head. I know a shortcut to the temple, calls the child version of me. I stop and scan around. Ella, Alec, and Knox are all in their respective villas. If that voice were real, Knox would definitely have heard it. Clearly I'm the only one who detects her at this point. A flash of a grey cloak appears in the thicket of overgrown olive trees. Child me dashes off into the forest. Hurry, she calls. I leave the gravel path and rush through the darkened forest. It doesn't really bother me that I seem to know the way like the back of my hand. Instead, all I can focus on is her bell-like laughter. I need to find this girl. I'm not sure how I know this, but I'm certain of one thing. Whatever my questions are, she does hold all the answers. So, anyway, that's the next part of Bryar Rose, and I'm actually quite disturbed that they have split up, and now she's gone off the path on her own, and they won't know she's gone off the path. I mean, isn't that a recipe for disaster, guys? I don't know about this. Thanks for listening to this episode, and many blessings.